Hey guys, it's Tim and this is Wrestling Unlimited. As it's Saturday night and AEW ran 3 straight hours on TNT, and they were really good 3 hours. Like, this was a great 3-hour block for All Elite Wrestling. I think that both shows were good. Of course, Collision better than Battle of the Belts, but Battle of the Belts still had some good matches as well. And overall, boy, that 2 out of 3 falls match, that FTR Bullet Club Gold match, step aside Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, we may have a new match of the year on our hands. And I'm saying maybe better than both of the Ospreay Omega matches. Now, they're completely different matches, and it really sucks we got to compare the 2, or the 3, depending on how you want to look at it. Oh boy, was that match a roller coaster? Was that match a ride? Was that match freaking-tastic? And we'll get into all of that. We'll talk about Battle of the Belts and the 3 title matches on there. We'll talk about, is Ricky Starks turning heel? So much to get into. As I move some stuff off my desk just so I can be able to take notes here, because we got a lot to go and get into. And first I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below, or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. You take that Amazon Prime account, you take that Twitch account, you link them together, bada bing, bada boom, you're Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff of 4 games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to head over to YouTube, hit the join button to become a channel member. Finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming one of the free games or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Getting into Remnant 2, pre-ordering EA Sports FC, claiming the free game Train Valley 2 or more, you can use code PWU NLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. Also, this podcast is brought to you by Pro Wrestling Loot. Use code PW Unlimited at checkout to get 20% off your next Pro Wrestling Loot box. More on that to come soon. I mean, I can show you a little. Pro Wrestling Loot. I'm going to do an unboxing of this for Monday. This will drop on Monday. Again, we do have our coupon code PW Unlimited at checkout. You'll get 20% off of your purchase. Yo, I just unplugged something. That might not have been good. What did I unplug? Okay. Nothing important. But with that, what is important is talking about AEW. AEW, they kicked it out of the park today in a good way. So the show, everything started off with Collision at 8 o'clock. The normal Collision at 8 o'clock. AEW made their big debut in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, inside the Canada Stampede, and we had the finals of the second ever Owen Hart Foundation tournament. On the men's side, it was CM Punk versus Ricky Starks. On the women's side, it was Ruby Soho versus Willow Nightingale. And with the AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line, it was FTR defending against Bullet Club Gold. And that's what kicked it off. That is what opened up the show. We got a pre-roll video featuring comments from all the key competitors tonight. After a few weeks, I'm still saying I like these, and it would be weird if they don't do these on Collision. Also, because Kevin Kelly is in Japan right now for the G1, Ian Riccoboni actually filled in for him on commentary, and Ian Riccoboni and Nigel McGuinness were great together tonight. I really liked that pairing. I really liked that duo. Nigel, it may be Nigel, because Nigel's great with Kevin Kelly as well. But Kevin Kelly is in Japan doing excuse me, doing the G1 Climax tournament. Eddie Kingston's matches tonight. And that starts at NJPW World. Also, if you do not have a subscription to NJPW World, but you do want to watch either last night or tonight's opening contest for the G1, it's free. You don't even have to log in. But yes, tonight, starting at, it's starting early. It's starting early. All right, I got to message Nick. Because Nick, we were talking about this. Okay, give me 1 second. Bum, 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 bum. G1 starts at 10 PT tonight. Because last night started at 1 a.m. Tonight, 10 p.m. So, I don't know if Nick saw that or not, because I know he was watching last night and whatnot. But tonight, we do have Eddie Kingston is in the G1. He is taking on Shingo Takagi, and it's free. It's free to watch. You don't even have to log into an NJPW.com account. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Collision. The AEW World Tag Team titles were on the line in a 2 out of 3 falls match that saw FTR defending against Bullet Club Gold. And oh my God. Is this match of the year? Could this be better? Could this beat out in match of the year voting Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay? Whether that's Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay from the Wrestle Kingdom show or Forbidden Door. Because oh my God, was this freaking great. There was a good bit of stalling early on, which makes me think that this one's going long. And boy, did this go long. This went an hour. This went right about an hour long. Once they got started, though, they got going. White got the better of Harwood early with some arm drags. Both men made tags, with Wheeler sending Robinson out of the ring with a shoulder block as we went to our first picture-in-picture break. And yes, the TNT app did show us the breaks. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. They showed us the picture-in-picture breaks. Because it was weird, because one time there was a Zoe Deschanel ad where she was like dressed as a fairy, and all of a sudden it cuts to Keenan Thompson, an auto trader. But during the picture-in-picture, they didn't cut those this time like they normally do. As they come back from the commercial, Harwood tripped up White on a drop down before hitting a side Russian leg sweep for a near fall. Harwood caught White with a Cobra twist, taunting Robinson as he grabbed the ropes for leverage. There's tags made on both sides that led to Robinson wiping out Wheeler and dropping him with a left-handed God. The two traded pinfall attempts before Wheeler press slammed Robinson and tagged in Dax. Harwood laid out Robinson with a chop before chopping him more in the corner. As Harwood and Robinson traded headlocks, the announcers told us that Malachi Black and Brody King would actually be in action later on tonight. That was new. That was new to everybody. After some headlock exchanges, Robinson sent Harwood shoulder first into the ring post before tagging in White. White leathered Harwood with some chops. Harwood fought back but missed a corner splash and hit the ring post head first. White laid both Harwood and Wheeler out with DDTs before hitting a Death Valley driver for a near fall. White then dropped Harwood down with a facebuster before pulling him up and over with a bridging German suplex for a near fall. Harwood fought back with some chops before knocking White down with a lariat. Things quickly broke down into a four-way scramble and ended with Robinson cutting off a Shatter Machine attempt and punching Wheeler with a left-handed God. That led to White hitting a Blade Runner to score the first pin in the match as we go to a full-screen break. Now, I didn't get the time on this, unfortunately. I didn't see how long in the first fall did go. I did see the second fall was. How long the second fall was, though. That was at like the 45, 46, 47 mark. And this was maybe the 20, 30-minute mark. Robinson worked over Harwood's arm as we came back from the break. Wheeler tagged in and laid into White, dropping him with a lariat for a near fall. White came back with a back suplex before tagging out to Robinson, who laid it into Wheeler with a pair of sentons. Robinson and White then isolated Wheeler, and White was clawing at Wheeler's eyes at one point before he went for the tag. White then hit Wheeler with a slingshot into the bottom rope before Robinson dropped Wheeler with a DDT on the floor. There was more clubbering on Wheeler before Wheeler got his knees up on a Robinson senton to cut him off. Wheeler went for the sunset flip on Robinson, but White tagged in and went for the eyes yet again. Wheeler caught White with the head scissors before making the tag to Harwood, who ran wild on both challengers. Harwood then got a pair of near falls on Robinson before sending him flying with 2 German suplexes. Harwood then hit a brainbuster for a near fall. Everybody in the building, in the Calgary Stampede, I think is what they call it, came alive, chanting, "This is awesome! This is awesome!" As Harwood went for a sharpshooter, but Robinson kicked him off and tagged in White. White then hit a suplex into the buckles that Robinson followed up with a cannonball for a near fall. White sent Harwood to the floor before teasing a stuffed pile driver on Wheeler with Robinson. But FTR did come back as Harwood hit a sunset flip off the ropes for a near fall. FTR then hit the redneck boogie on White, shouting out the Briscoes. Got a near fall off of it. FTR then went for the powerplex on White, but White got his knees up on Wheeler's splash. Robinson then came off the top with frog splash on Harwood for yet another near fall. The crowd eating it up. Fever pitch. Crazy for this as the match resets. We're 1-1 about 45 to 47 minutes in. FTR then kind of quickly, maybe like 10 minutes later, maybe not that long, but 10 minutes later, FTR quickly get the second fall with some misdirection leading to a shatter machine. Go for the second fall, The misdirection leading to a shatter machine on Robinson. Back from a commercial break, there was a Pier 6 brawl that broke out during the break. White then backdropped his way out of a pile driver on the apron. Harwood got White in a powerbomb position on the floor, but White took Harwood over the barricade. The doctors then came out to check on both men, but the match continued as White and Harwood brawled with each other into the crowd. Harwood dropped White with a suplex on the concrete before FTR brought White back to ringside with a double suplex. Robinson then came in, but FTR dropped him with a double suplex as well. White then beat the count before leading to a West Side Story stare down. They brawled. Wheeler was suplexing Robinson over the ropes to the floor as we went to yet another picture-in-picture break. Harwood then got to the ropes as he got out of White's submission. White tuned up the band. Looked like he was going to go for the Shawn Michaels super kick. And, doing it in Calgary. Oh, man, the fans were booing. And then they still booed because he stopped, didn't do a super kick, and instead, double leg into a sharpshooter. Harwood did reach the ropes and fought off a double team attempt at one point. Harwood brought White to the top rope before bringing him down hard with a back suplex. We got a 55-minute call here as Robinson cut off Harwood's tag. White then hit a bridging back suplex for a near fall. White teased the Blade Runner, but Harwood pulled him in for a sharpshooter. Wheeler then cut off Robinson and put him in a sharpshooter. FTR couldn't hold the position on the sharpshooter and collapsed. Robinson then tagged in, but Harwood snatched him into a sharpshooter yet again. Robinson eventually tapped, giving Harwood the victory. And there we go. FTR win and retain. Huge pop from the crowd in Calgary. This match was awesome. After the match, FTR offered a handshake, but instead, White and Robinson spat on their hands and left. So I don't think we've seen the last of this just quite yet. And then hype up Blood and Guts on Wednesday. So then we get Willow versus Ruby in the finals of the Women's Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Good match, not great. I will say that for sure. Soho came out solo. The announcers noting that she made it to the finals last year and has made it to the finals yet again tonight. Nightingale started the match in control, countering Soho's offense before hitting a trio of suplexes for a near fall. Soho avoided a charge in the corner and tied Nightingale in the ropes, hitting her with knees to the chest. Soho then got a near fall as we went to a picture-in-picture break. Back from the break, Nightingale hit an enziguri. Nightingale fired up on Soho, clubbering her in the corner. Soho hit a back elbow, but Nightingale pulled her into an Oklahoma Stampede for a near fall. There's a pinning predicament that led to a forearm exchange, which led to Soho getting a roll-up for a near fall. Nightingale hit a main event splash and locked on a single leg crab. Soho then got to the ropes where she grabbed the spray paint can. Soho put it in Nightingale's hands and feigned an incident, kind of making it seem like, oh, hey, she sprayed me in the face, referee. She then hit the no future and got a near fall off of it. Soho then went for the paint again, but Nightingale hit a pounce that sent the can out of the ring. Nightingale then hit the Babe with the power bomb and pinned her to win the tournament. So there we go. Willow Nightingale wins. Tony Khan comes out and raises Willow's hand as the announcers noted that Martha Hart will be on later during the Battle of the Belts broadcast to actually do the closing ceremonies of the tournament and present the titles. Then they cut to a video from last week where Tony Schiavone was looking to talk to Powerhouse Hobbs after the QTV incident. And QT and Harley went to talk to him. They pleaded to Hobbs, and Hobbs seemed like he wasn't buying it at all. Then we had the Kings of the Black Throne, Brody King and Malachi Black against Artemis Spencer and Randy Myers. The Kings powered one of the men into the corner, forcing a tag. Black then tagged in, kicking the legs out from his opponent. Black locked on a knee bar as King hit a senton. This then led to a distraction that brought out Andrade El Idolo. Black hit the Black Mass and picked up the win as referees were holding back Andrade. Andrade wanted to go for the Kings of the Black Throne because they had his mask. They had stolen the Andrade mask, and they were holding it hostage. Nothing really happened here, though. We're still teasing something. The announcers then ran down the Battle of the Belts card for later on tonight, and they also talked about Blood and Guts on Wednesday, featuring Blood and Guts, the Blind Eliminator Tournament Finals, the FTW title on the line, and the return of the Royal Rampage. Then we had CM Punk and Ricky Starks. Again, another match that was really good, but not great. Punk got mixed reactions from the crowd, more cheers than boos, though. Dueling chants for both men early as they traded arm ringers to start. Starks knocked Punk down with a shoulder block before taunting him with a go-to-sleep pose. Punk hip-tossed Starks to the floor as we went to a commercial break. Starks avoided a corner charge as we came back from the break. Starks went old school as Punk as the announcers noted the legendary Jushin Thunder Liger would be here helping present the trophy to the winner of this match. Punk then heated up Starks, hitting him with a big kick to the back. Punk body slammed Starks before hitting a Bret Hart's second rope elbow. I mean, what? You're all about honoring Owen, but you're doing a Bret move. I mean, we know Punk loves Bret. There's a Russian leg sweep that scored a near fall for Punk. Punk then laid out Starks with a leg lariat as the crowd continued to be mixed for Punk. There was another body slam that set up an elbow, but Starks cut him off as we went to a break. Punk then hit a rising knee as we came back from a commercial. Starks booted Punk on the corner charge, but Punk cut off a satellite DDT and hit a La Mastral cradle for a near fall. There's another rising knee that scored for Punk, but Starks got the DDT for a near fall. Starks then went to the top rope, but Punk sat up on the way out of an elbow drop. Punk then hit the Pepsi twist and got a near fall. Both men were on the mat in the middle and hit each other with crossbodies, crashing with the double down spot. There's a strike exchange at one point that fired up Starks, but Punk caught Starks with a pile driver for a near fall. Punk called for the go to sleep, but Starks elbowed out and hit a spear. He sent Punk to the floor. Starks dragged Punk back into the ring and went for another spear, but Punk caught him in a front guillotine. This spot was awesome. So Starks goes for the spear, connects, but Punk wraps the arm for the guillotine, and they do like a front roll. Well, as he's got him in the guillotine, Ricky stretches his leg out as far as he can. Pretend this pen is the bottom rope, right? Here's how Ricky's foot touched it. Just the ever slightest. A centimeter more, and he wasn't touching it. Holy crap. So they start doing roll-ups and cradles and roll-ups and cradles and roll-ups and cradles, and finally Ricky gets a roll-up, grabs the ropes. 1, 2, 3. Ricky Starks pins CM Punk and wins the Owen Hart tournament with slightly nefarious means. So I was like, oh boy. So then afterwards, Ricky Starks is going for the trophy. And it looks like, Jushin Thunder Liger is going to give it to him. Jushin Thunder Liger is holding the trophy, and Ricky just rips it out of Jushin Thunder Liger's hands, poses with it. Yeah! Jushin Thunder Liger's like, hey, What the? Hey, shake my hand. And Ricky just walks off. Is this a Ricky Starks heel turn? Is Ricky Starks teasing a heel turn? I mean, he used the ropes for leverage, and he disrespected the legend and Jushin Thunder Liger. So, what's going on there? Heel turn or not? Let me know in the comments below. But that wraps up Collision, going straight into Battle of the Belts. Battle of the Belts did kick it off with Lance Archer challenging Orange Cassidy for the International Championship. And one thing I got to say, Lance Archer, girl, Lance Archer looks so much bigger than I've ever seen him. And I've seen him for a very long time in wrestling. Did he get bigger? Did he grow and get taller? It looked like it. So Archer and Cassidy got off to a quick start, actually. Cassidy was jumping Archer during his entrance, and Archer brought Cassidy to the top rope and hammered him with some forearms. Archer then set up Cassidy for a blackout, but Cassidy fought out. Archer hit a rising knee to Cassidy on the top rope. Then he went for the blackout again. Cassidy slipped down and locked on a sleeper hold. Archer slammed Cassidy down and hit a shoulder block and forced Cassidy to the floor. Cassidy rolled to the other side of the ring before hitting Jake Roberts with a soft kick. It baited Archer to that side of the ring, but Archer caught Cassidy on a Hurricane Rana attempt and threw him into the barricade. Archer began flinging security around, allowing Cassidy to dropkick Archer into the barricade. Archer began flinging security around again, or Cassidy actually this time, into Archer, but Archer came back and flung Cassidy into the barricade. Then both men were on the ring apron. The referee's about to count him out, where Archer hits a big forearm, and we go to a break. Back from the break, Cassidy went for a flying DDT, but Archer caught him and flung him across the ring with a suplex. Cassidy tried to hit a Stun Dog Millionaire, but Archer stuffed it and hit a barrage of attacks. Cassidy went for a satellite DDT, but Archer caught him yet again. Cassidy went low, hitting a chop block. He and Archer then were down on their knees, and he called for the orange punch. Archer then caught the punch and laid Cassidy out with the big boss man slam for a near fall. Cassidy at one point ducked a lariat and bailed to the floor where Robinson set him up for a DDT, but Archer stopped him. Or Roberts, not Robinson. I don't know why I said that. Cassidy then hit a basement dropkick before hitting a DDT on the floor in front of Roberts. Archer then got up on the apron and taunted Cassidy, but Cassidy punched Archer. He fell to the floor. Cassidy fell in the ring, and the ref goes, ding, ding, ding. And I'm like, what just happened? What the what? And then they let us know that was a count out. So a little wonky finish because I didn't realize that was the count out until they actually had to tell us. Basically, they were both on the apron. Orange knocks Archer off. Orange jumps in the ring at the last second, and there we go. Wasn't well done because I didn't even know it was a count out because I didn't even realize the ref was counting. Tony Schiavone then welcomes the Acclaimed to the ring. They accepted QTV's challenge, saying that they would beat them in and out of Royal Rampage. Bowens then announced that next Saturday on Collision, the Acclaimed and Billy would get a rematch for the AEW Trios Championships against the House of Black. They then scissored with Schiavone as we went to break. So, then we had the AEW Women's World Titles, Toni Storm versus Taya Valkyrie, and unfortunately, because of a storm, that not Toni Storm, but in a literal weather storm, that knocked out the feed for a moment, we didn't see the finish of this match. They did state that they will put the full match up on demand for anybody that wants to go back and watch it because it was their fault. Not quite their fault, but you know what I mean. Taya Valkyrie, the hometown babyface here, got a great reaction from the crowd. Storm charged her to start, but Valkyrie fought back and sent Storm to the floor. Valkyrie hit a knee lift to Storm before following it up with some running knees for a near fall. Storm hooked Valkyrie over the top rope, forcing her to the floor, where she tossed her around with her hair. Valkyrie then came back with some more hair mares. We went to a commercial break. Back from the break, Valkyrie avoided a hip attack and fired up on Storm. She then hit a blue thunder bomb and got a one off of it, but followed this up with a hip attack of her own in the corner. The feed then somehow abruptly just goes away, and we come back, and they're showing footage from last week's Collision, and I'm like, what? Apparently, a satellite storm or a weather storm knocked out the satellite. So we didn't get to see the finish. Tony Storm did retain, but we don't know how. I could have probably went and figured it out from people live in the building, but I don't know. Commentary then did tell us about the storm and told us later on that Tony Storm did retain, showing some Ruby Soho interference. Tony Schiavone then welcomed out Willow Nightingale and Ricky Starks before also introducing Dr. Martha Hart, and she did a nice little speech, talked about the history of Calgary, the Hart family there, and then officially presenting Willow and Ricky with commemorative title belts. Cool. She wore a cowboy hat. So did Ian Riccaboni, and so did Dax Harwood. No, Cash Wheeler. They were the Calgary Stampede, so they thought, let's cowboy it up. Whatever. Then, at the main event, the TNT title on the line, Luchasaurus defending against Shawn Spears. And right when the match starts, they show Scorpio Sky actually watching this match in the back, basically letting us know Scorpio may be next in line. Luchasaurus early on cut off Spears with a big punch as we went to a commercial break. Spears hit the 10 punches in the corner as we came back from the break. He hammered Luchasaurus with a short arm clothesline before eventually dropping him with one. Spears booted Luchasaurus on the apron before booting his head against the post. Spears then chased Cage around ringside, leading to Luchasaurus chokeslamming Spears through a table at ringside. Oh, all of a sudden I got a sharp pain in my ear. Luchasaurus then brought Spears back into the ring, where Spears reversed a chokeslam into a roll-up for a near fall. Luchasaurus then kicked out and hit the chokeslam. Spears then kicked out at 2. Christian then set up Spears' chair in the corner, but Luchasaurus ended up going headfirst into it instead. Spears rolled him up, but Luchasaurus kicked out. Spears set it for the C4, but Christian caused a distraction, allowing Luchasaurus to hit a big lariat to the back of the head, pin Shawn Spears, and retain the TNT Championship. They once again show Scorpio Sky watching in the back as Christian celebrated with the belt, and the show goes off the air. But with that, that was the 3-hour block of content from All Elite Wrestling tonight on TNT. I thought for the most part, all really, really, really good. And now, you know what I thought? I thought it was a very entertaining 3 hours. Now I want to know what you guys thought of the show. Forgot to do a Twitch poll. Really sorry for that one. But we got the other polls. As far as the Twitter poll does go, let's refresh that. Refresh right here. "57% liked tonight's shows, 26% thought it was just all right, and 15% did not like it. Looking over at the YouTube community poll, 71% liked it, 20% thought it was just all right, and 8% didn't like it. Some of the comments here, great show. They've been killing it. It says the 2 out of 3 falls tag match was a banger. Collision was good, amazing tag match. Both Owen finals felt lackluster. They did feel a little lackluster. Like they were good, but not great. It says FTR vs. Bullet Club Gold was match of the night. Maybe match of the year. This person says, weakest Collision so far. Yeah, screw you, guy. Weakest Collision so far. You could have done 2 hours of that tag match and it would have been amazing. And finally, the YouTube live poll. 75% liked the show. 22% thought it was just all right. And 3% did not like it. So with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me. Whether that's on Twitch, twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. We will be back live Monday morning for the wrestling wrap-up. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your weekend. There's still so much more wrestling to go watch. Have a good one.